Rule 0. You may have heard this term before, especially those of us who play a lot of Commander. What is it? Well, it's a pre-game conversation you have with folks about the kind of experience you want to have and the kind of experience you're bringing to the table. It can determine what Commander you're going to play, inform people whether or not they want to play against any certain strategy. But not all Rule 0 conversations are equal, and not all experiences with Rule 0 are equal. I want to walk through just one tale, my personal experiences with Rule 0, and I want to hear from all of you how your Rule 0 conversations go, because I feel like my Rule 0 conversations with my immediate play group and even in spell table games is not the same as what I'm usually sold by folks online. And so I especially other content creators. So I want to know if I'm encountering an anomaly or if there's a much bigger issue than what seems to be talked about. So let's get straight into it. So Rule 0, I actually hadn't heard of until about 2021, 2022. Never even heard the term Rule 0 before that point. And if it did exist before that point, never heard of it. Now, how does my pod operate, right? I've got a group of friends, John, Chuck, Aaron, Dewey, Mitch, Jason, Nathan, so many people. And we come together and we play Commander, and that's what we do. We don't have Rule 0 conversations about the most. For example, we just played on Saturday, and Jason's got one deck. He's got a Norn the Wary deck that is high bracket 4, can easily compete with CDH decks. He windmill slams that down. I windmill slam down a bracket 2 deck. We play the game. Nobody gets really upset or anything like that. The game goes. He wins. It is what it is. About the most conversation we had prior to that game was saying what decks we were going to run. He's like, yep, I got Norn. Mitch was running his Hearthhome deck that he just got upgraded a little bit, the upgraded Precon. And Nathan was running, I believe, Aurelia. And we just played. In the next game, it kind of went that way the whole day, where I'm just like, all right, I'm testing out Tian La, I'm testing out Zoo Ifrit now, I'm testing out Jaws and Toph the First Metal Bender, all of those different ones. I think the closest thing we even had to a Rule 0 conversation was Nathan runs Jokel Hops in in his Lord Windgrace deck. Which I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get Jokel Hops out of the game. But honestly, it is what it is. We gave him crap for us getting blown out by it before, but we're like, dude, you do you. That's fine by me. I'm not gonna. I don't mind that you do it. Like, if we lose, we lose. We love playing Magic. Now, my experience on Spell Table though is a little bit different. And I'm still not having the Rule 0 conversations that I keep hearing about in videos from like the Command Zone or Trinket Mage and those guys. Like, I love all of those content creators, right? But I've never encountered the types of Rule 0 conversations that they talk about, or the ones that the MTG Goldfish crew talks about. So on Spell Table, I go in and people are like, all right, there's usually a name of the lobby, like bracket 3 casual, just bracket 3, bracket 2 casual, etc. So I sit down, I'm like, all right, guys, I'm bracket 3, and I'm going to be running, we're going to say, Azusa. And they're like, all right, it's Azusa. Sometimes you might get a groan of like, I don't like that commander, and I'll be like, all right, I'll just play a different one. But most of the time, everybody's pretty chill about it. Nobody really throws a conniption. No one has a fit about it. But that's the extent of the conversation. There is none of this, hey, I'm running my Liesa deck, but it is not a punish people for playing deck, it's not that Liesa, and it's not Reanimator Liesa. It's just Black White Angels tribal Liesa. I don't have those conversations, and I've never seen one of those conversations occur in the wild. At my local game store, when I've gone for Commander to play at either Dark Vassal or Cooley, the two that I go to in my area, and I play with strangers, about the closest I'll get to like the kind of Rule Zero conversations described that I hear about in videos all the time is, hey, I'm running Shieldred, but it's not really oppressive Shieldred. And I'll be like, okay. And that's about it. And then it doesn't end up being an oppressive Shieldred. At the very worst end of the spectrum, there are people who just don't have a Rule Zero conversation, and then they just, play the game and don't play at the appropriate bracket. And maybe that's where those Rule Zero conversations should be happening, but they're not. And even I've tried initiating some of those Rule Zero conversations at my local LGS, with my friends and with my spell table games, and never have I been able to get that sort of mechanic in. So this is Weston asking a question to all of you. What kind of Rule Zero conversations do you encounter? Do you encounter those really in-depth ones, the ones I hear like Tomer or Rachel or any number of other wonderful creators talk about, where they're like, you're talking about, this is the kind of gameplay experience that I'm trying to set up. This is my overarching game plan. These are some of my cards to get there. I have never seen anyone that I have ever played against actively volunteer information about what is in their deck, other than tell me the bracket and the general theme. Like, is it mill? Is it removal? Is it aggro? That's it. And then the commander, which usually can parse out what the theme of the deck is from the commander, because so many commanders are stuck in a box nowadays and to what they can do. And so I don't know, maybe I'm odd. Maybe my area is odd because we live in a rural area where most people who come to the LGS kind of know each other after a while, and my friends know each other. And this is kind of an extension of politicking too, right? And we'll talk about politicking then too, because it's kind of like a Rule Zero. Politics in Commander is a thing. Politicking doesn't really happen all that much in my immediate friend group. It just does not happen. It happens a lot when I play on Spell Table. It happens at my locals when I play with strangers, but it does not happen in my local or in my immediate friend play group. Instead, we all sit down like we are all, because all of us played Legacy before. All of us sit down like we're sitting across from an opponent in a Legacy tournament, and we're all constantly threat assessing. But at the same time, we're chill and having fun and talking, but focused on the game and trying to win. Almost never is there a good degree of politicking, other than say somebody drops a big bomb, and then we're all collectively like, oh my god, that's the threat, new plan, we got to deal with this, right? That's about the most politicking you're gonna get. I have tried it a couple times. Sorry, friends, I was up very early. I had to go to the hospital this morning. So sorry for the yawn. But it's very strange because there is none of the, hey, I will do this if you do that. Or I don't see those cards where it's like I draw two, the opponent draws two. I play Wedding Ring in a couple decks, but I'm the only one who does. And when I've tried to initiate politicking, there's just there's no negotiation back and forth. And I don't know if I'm missing out on an experience, or if the ecosystems in which the folks that are saying that these things are super common are not as common as they may think. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about the Rule Zero, and then a subsequent question about politics in Commander. I am really interested to hear how out of the norm my playgroup is. But as always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.